Welcome to the Wisdom Lifestyle Money Show. I'm your host, Scott Dillingham. The goal of the show is to show you how you can grow personally, financially, have a larger net worth, and leverage your largest asset to help you develop the person you want to be. I take you through all the steps I did from being nothing to being told that I was nobody and I was never going to accomplish anything, from getting kicked out of high school to owning a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio in my own company with more than 20 employees. You'll meet our partners, you'll meet our friends, and you'll quickly discover how you can improve your life. So listen in and enjoy the show. Okay, welcome back to the show. Today I'm really excited. I have Jill and Steve from the Joe Conlon real estate team, who are top 1% in Canada with Royal LePage. So today we have Jill who's going to chat first. So welcome, Jill.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So how's it going today?
Good. Very good.
Well, I'm so glad you came. And I know before the show, we were talking about some of your story and how you got started into real estate. And I'd like to hear, tell me about your childhood. How was it when you were a child? You wanted to be a realtor, or what were your dreams when you were little?
Growing up, I grew up in Windsor. My family moved almost every 2 to 3 years. So I really have lived across Windsor, Essex. But no, I did not always want to be a real estate agent. In fact, I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
So I did go to the University of Windsor to become a teacher and taught for about 7 years. Moved out to Vancouver, taught at a private school out in Vancouver, moved to London and taught there for about 6 years.
That's awesome. What did you teach?
Kindergarten,
Okay.
grade 4, grade 6 primarily.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. It was great until we decided that we were going to move back home. My husband and my 2 children and I, which was fantastic. I'm loving being back in the Windsor, Essex area.
No, that's awesome. So then from teaching, how did you get into being a realtor?
Something that I think I always really enjoyed, just everything about home and the different styles of homes and just predominantly helping people. So yeah, I decided to start taking my real estate courses while I was on mat leave with my daughter. And I contacted Joe because I knew him back when he was 18 years old.
Okay. So how did you know Joe when you were 18? That's cool. Can you tell me about that?
He dated my middle sister, Jenna.
Nice.
So I ended up giving him a shout just to pick his brain about the industry and where to get started and help along the way.
That's incredible. That's funny.
Yeah.
So then you must know some embarrassing stories about him.
A few.
Would you be able to share one without getting into trouble when you go back?
Joe, he often showed up to our house in a green car with a 4-leaf clover on the hood, wearing a poncho.
Nice. So that was his lucky car, I'm sure.
His lucky car, and somehow the luck stuck.
There you go. What did your sister say when he would come to the house in this green?
Oh, well, she didn't mind. I think my dad cared more.
No, that's cool. So from the lucky car, you're now on his team. So how did that happen?
Yeah. When I got into real estate and moved back, obviously I'd been talking to Joe along the way, knowing somebody in the industry was helpful. And that was right around the time that his workload became greater and he needed the help. So that's when he decided to start the team and asked me to be a part of it.
No, that's awesome. So what do you do for the team specifically?
Basically anything from showing houses, selling real estate, team meetings, helping with marketing and
nice. That's awesome. Do you guys have like dedicated positions, or does everybody like do the same thing? Just
most of us all do the same thing, I would say. Yep.
Okay. No, that's cool. And then how is he to work with? We see him. He's a friendly guy, good looking. How is he to work for?
Same friendly guy, very easygoing. Yeah, we have a really great dynamic. Our team is a lot of fun.
No, that's great. So then with real estate, it's a crazy market. You have to be aggressive. There's bidding wars and things like that. And I know you guys are really good at winning those. So what do you do? What are the tips that you would share with some clients when they're putting in offers?
Not to get too over your head. Try to stay level-headed throughout the whole process, making sure that you find the right house that's for you. You might lose some, but we'd rather see our clients lose than overbid and get too emotional in the process.
No, that's true. So is there some preferred areas that you guys like in the city that someone listening might be up and coming that maybe they want to purchase in, or?
Walkerville.
Walkerville's
Right where our office is.
Nice. Yeah, so that is true. You guys have a house right in Walkerville. It's a beautiful place. How did that come to be?
Joe was thinking about buying a place and kind of stumbled across this cute house in Walkerville, and he's following in his mom's footsteps.
That's awesome. So his mom used to live in
His
Walkerville?
mom still lives in Walkerville and owns a business in Walkerville as well.
Nice. No, that's so cool. Can you tell me something that I wouldn't know about the Windsor market or something that's interesting or rewarding on your end that, someone, a client or myself listening would not be aware of?
Still that even though it seems like our prices have been skyrocketing over the last couple of years, that we're still the most affordable city to live in, and all of these great things that are happening. And hopefully once the border opens up next month, we'll be
Yep.
able to use the Detroit amenities again and the new hospital coming. I think there's big things happening here in Windsor.
I agree. Now, do you find like the border being closed, do you find that has affected real estate at all?
No,
No?
I haven't personally noticed that.
Okay. No, that's good. For me, I can't say that I have noticed it so much, but I know because the people that work there can still travel. So I find I was curious on your end. No, that's cool. So I see you guys are very active on social media and you guys often have contests, really cool contests and giveaways. Who usually picks up those prizes?
Well, our admin staff. Yeah.
What was the craziest prize you guys gave away so far?
Guys, craziest prize? Cedar Point ticket? Nintendo Switch was a big one. A lot of people love that one.
Okay. That is a big one. Yeah.
Give away your hood.
Yeah, giveaway, but it's got to be a green car.
He's got the hood. He took the hood right off the car. So
That's
we still have
awesome.
it in the basement of it.
That's so funny. So, Jill, if you had to say your niche, like your number one focus for when you're working with buyers or sellers, what would that be?
I would say predominantly families. I feel like I can relate best to
Yeah.
families, understanding what it's like to move with two young children.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. So yeah, I would say that and the East End. I grew up, a big chunk of my life was in Bell River. I went to Bell River High School. I had a lot of friends in Tecumseh. I live in Tecumseh now. So I feel like that East End Lakeshore area is what I know best.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, this is a random question, but so you mentioned when you were little, you moved every 2 years. Do you do the same thing with your family?
I haven't. We bought our first house. I lived in it for 5 years, and we're coming on 4 years in our current home.
Okay.
And
So you're breaking.
I know. I
That's
am.
awesome. Good for you. Now, do you have any tips for any buyers or sellers that are out there that you share when someone first calls you? What's something you usually tell them?
A market education,
Okay.
making sure that we sit down and give them a good indication of where the market's at, what their expectations are.
Okay.
Just to set the page, the tone for what's to come.
Yep.
It is a bit of a roller coaster ride, and I find that helps a lot
Yep.
to pave the way.
Yeah, no, I can see that absolutely. Because I know when someone's first buying, they're absolutely looking for that help. So that's awesome. We do have to take a quick pause. And then when we come back, it's going to be Steve. Steve will join us from the Joe Cullen Real Estate team. And we're going to dive into his story and also how he was a star guest on the Naked News. All right, welcome back. So now we have Steve. So welcome, Steve.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem. It's been fun for sure. So Steve, how did you start? How was your childhood?
Yeah, a little different from Jill. Jill grew up here in the Windsor area. I'm born and bred in Saskatchewan,
Okay, now.
very different area of the country. And I moved around a lot and went through a lot of different things in my life. I've been a musician my whole life,
Awesome.
and that took me all over Canada for years. Yeah.
What did you play or sing?
Yeah, I started singing and playing guitar at a young age with some piano thrown in there as well. Piano's what I primarily learned on, but yeah, I sang all over the place. I ended up in Canadian Idol twice.
awesome.
Made it to the top 40 two times, 2005 and 2007.
That's so cool.
yeah.
Did you get recognized from that? Did any labels or anything want you to do anything for them or?
Yeah, there was little things here and there. I was in a group called Hoja for about 3.5 years that toured the country and mixed with the Canadian Idol stuff. The music community, even though Canada's a big country,
Yep.
it's very tight knit. Your name gets tossed around when you're out there
Okay.
doing things like that.
No, that's incredible. And then so from there, what happened? Did you dive into real estate right away or was there something in the middle?
Yeah, no, my life has taken a lot of twists and turns, but one of the common threads has always been working with people. And even I can say when you're a musician and you're on stage and you're touring and you're connecting, the whole shtick of that industry is connecting with people. And In between that, I bartended and I served tables for a lot of years. That's like a
Okay.
musician's job, basically.
Yeah.
And I managed some retail stores, and the common thread is working with people, helping people.
Okay.
And then obviously there's a bit of a sales background there already. So
Okay.
when I transitioned into this job a few years ago, it was a more natural transition, I think, than people would think right off the top. But
Yeah.
when you really look into it, it wasn't that big of a step.
Okay. Now, how did you meet Joe first, or were you a realtor somewhere else and then you met Joe? How'd that work?
No, I was living in Toronto with my wife for about 7 years, and this is her hometown, Windsor.
Okay.
So we moved back here after we were married, and we bought a home. And I had a friend working at Royal LePage, and I had just taken my courses. I got a job at Royal LePage, and I actually was on my own in the business for about 8 or 9 months first.
Okay.
But I was in the same office that the team was running out of. I think they'd been going for about a year at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Joe kicked in my office door one day and sat down, and I think the relationship was born in that moment.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
he literally kicked the
Basically,
door?
yeah. He basically
Okay.
came in and slammed the door and sat down. And I think he had just, what he said is that he saw me hustling around the office, and he saw that I always looked busy and I was always, stepping in to help people. And that was an image and a type of character that he wanted as he was looking to expand his team. So he offered mentorship for me first, and I'd be a fool not to take that. And
Yeah.
looking into what things Joe has accomplished in his career over the last decade, it was something that I was really keen to be a part of.
No, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So just for fun, because I'm curious, but do you have any funny or unique stories, embarrassing stories about Joe that you can share with us?
In the last few years that I've known him, no, I can't say there's tons of embarrassing things. We've gone on some team trips where I just remember one where we were in a hotel room and he decided he wanted to show us that he could do a backflip off from one bed to the other. And he ended up slipping and cracking the back of his head on the frame of the bed. And we're all a little silly sometimes, but that could have turned a little bit more dark if he
Yeah.
hadn't been a
Could
couple
have.
of inches to the left.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's funny. So then working on his team, do you have a specific role or same thing? You just,
Yeah, the way that our team is structured is there's 6 agents,
okay.
including Joe himself, and then we've got 4 administrative roles
Okay.
that we have going in the office. So the 6 agents, typically, we aren't specifically assigned to a role. We are there to service clients and sell real estate and
Okay.
promote the team. And then the administrative assistants are there to keep the cogs in the machine moving.
Yeah.
Each of us probably has our own niche that we enjoy working with and that we tend to help, but
Okay.
we're all kind of jacks of all trades when it
Okay.
comes to helping clients.
No, and that's awesome. So what would your niche be?
I tend to work at opposite ends of the spectrum. I really like working with first-time home buyers. I like
Okay.
taking first-time home buyers through that process. I
Okay.
feel like I can add a lot of value as I talk to young couples or
Yeah.
young singles trying to get into this market. But then I also really enjoy working with older people that are looking to downsize and maybe move from a really big house that they're empty nesting in now.
Yeah.
And I've really created some great relationships with some of the older
Awesome.
sellers and buyers as well.
No, that's respectful. Not a lot of people say that they like to work with the downsizers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's really cool. Awesome. Now, so I'm really curious about this, right? How do you audition for the Naked News? And maybe for those that have never heard of it or seen it, maybe you could describe what it is.
Yeah. So I was in a touring band in Toronto called the Modern Hearts, and we were a part of a small label at the time. And it wasn't so much an audition as your management and your team behind you starts to put your name out there and ask around and see what kind of media they can dig up for you. And the Naked News just happened to be one of. What's funny to this day, I still have a copy of this interview. For those of you that don't know what the Naked News is, it's literally a program just like this, but it's filmed. It's not on the radio, and everything. The interview is conducted fantastically. It's still one of the best pieces of media we ever ended up with. But the niche here is that the people interviewing you are completely naked. It's a great keepsake for me to have this interview of it was me and the drummer in our band and sitting there with a completely nude woman asking us very poignant questions about music.
That's awesome. So now I understand when you asked me, when I said, we got to do the show, and you asked, do we have to wear clothes? Like, I get it. I get it.
Exactly. I'm naked right now.
That's awesome. So now back to real estate, but that's incredible. That's so awesome. So for any buyers, do you have general tips that you give to someone, like a standard set of tips, or is it random per the person?
Yeah, I think the main thing that's really been difficult for people is how quickly this real estate market has changed in the last 5 years. People in Windsor, Essex County were really used to really affordable market, and that's skyrocketed in these 5 years. And the main tip is that we really need to be on top of things quickly. It's all about speed, because these listings go up and sometimes they're only listed for 3-4 days and someone's snapping it up. We can't take our time like people used to. We got to see these listings the day they go up. If we want to get an inspection done, we need to do that ahead of the offers. We need to be making sure that we're working with professionals in the mortgage industry like you guys, because I know you guys are all about speed here as well. And we've talked about that in the past, and that's really important. And sometimes it takes people a little bit of time to understand that they've got to lose a few houses before they realize just how quickly this market moves. And I think that's the benefit that you get from a team like you. And I think that's the benefit you get from a team like us. When you got 6 agents, if you're working with me, you're not just getting me, you're getting me and you're getting the support of the team behind me.
For sure.
So if I'm not available in that one moment, I've got someone else who can be available to you. And that's really important. I don't think people quite grasp that when they first get into this market. They think they've got a little bit more time to check things out, and then the houses go, and then you got to get on to the next one.
That's it. That's very true. In this market, speed is everything. When we're looking at lenders, if they have a 3 to 5 day turnaround time, like that's not acceptable. Like you need so much faster than that. So then we just won't even work with them until they pick it up, because it's seasonal. Like sometimes they're busier here, sometimes they're faster, but no, that's a great point. So awesome. So we have to wrap up for the day, but how does someone who's buying or selling that would be interested in working with either of you two, how would they reach out to you guys?
Yeah, we're all over the socials, and that's important in this industry now too, is the marketing through social media. You can basically find us at our tagline's Realtors for Life, your Realtors for Life. And we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Our website is www.realtorsforlife.ca. And yeah, if you guys need any help out there, anything at all, we are always available. We're always ready to jump in and help. And you can reach us at any of those socials. I think it's the easiest way.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate everybody coming, and thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
If you're serious about real estate investing and you want to take it to the next level with the least amount of time and mistakes, then you're going to want to sign up for our Real Estate Investor Hub. Visit CanadianRealEstateNetwork.com and hit the blue button or banner that says Free Investor Resources. Inside, you'll have access to real estate investing courses, networking opportunities, webinars featuring industry professionals, as well as dedicated chat channels to share and get access to unique properties. I look forward to seeing you there.